Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the Select Board, members of the public, here to give a brief update on the progress of the development at Heather Hill and also a fiscal impact analysis. So a little bit of background. The special permits were approved in March of 2019 by the Planning Board. It was for 384 units of 55-plus housing, condo style with dedicated open space. And at the time, the permit was going to maintain the existing Heather Hill banquet facility as a commercial facility for rent and events and whatnot, the same way it is today. Sort of fell through and Toll Brothers took over as the developer. They came in with some modifications to the special permit that were approved this summer. Name change from the Reserve at Heather Hill to the Regency, pretty trivial. The removal of the Heather Hill banquet facility, not so trivial. This allowed them to reduce the overall built footprint and results in 1,000 less linear feet of road. And I stress there is no change to the overall number of units. That remains the same. So here's the modified layout. Anything in the yellow is part of the previous plan that is no longer part of the approved plan. If you look at the bottom of the site towards West Bacon Street, that is where the banquet facility is currently located. With the elimination of this to the development, they move the residence clubhouse and the pool area up to that spot. And with the clubhouse and the pool no longer being located there, it opens up the space for more of the housing units. And so that yellow lollipop shape in the top right disappears, and the hammerhead dead end in the top left also disappears. So you're reducing the footprint, you're allowing more open space. Now what we're here for, the fiscal impact analysis. Start with some assumptions. We know our tax rate, the per capita tax supported cost of municipal services. This is what it costs the town to serve each resident. Variable. So if you think back to the school days and the scientific method, we're going to test two variables. And that is if the square footage cap we just talked about was removed. We're also going to look at the provision of affordable units off-site versus on-site. All right, scenario comparison. In the control group, we have 137 single-family homes. The next column is the current permit, which is doing the affordables on site and the square footage cap that applies. The first variable is if you keep the affordables on site, but you removed the square footage cap. Variable 2 is if you did the affordables off site, but you had the square footage cap. And then variable 3 combines them. And so we see, the average home value increasing with the removal of the square footage limit. You look at the assessment of the affordable unit, it's far less than the assessment of a market rate unit. And so now we see the fiscal impact. So on top, we see the total property tax revenue, which of course would increase if you allow more square footage because that's taxable. The cost of services, as you see, so this is the education and the town services combined. If you subtract that from the new revenue, with the current permit, we are projecting to make $2.8 million each year, year after year, in additional revenue to the town. That's after the services are subtracted. With the single-family home build-out, we're looking at a close to $2 million loss, again, projected. If you take a look at the variables, removing the square footage cap increases what we're predicting to take in by $235,000 more each year. Doing the affordables off-site would increase it around another $279,000. So if both of those variables were in place, we're looking at a projected $3.3 million in additional revenue year after year to the town. Additional benefits to the town, there's going to be 100+ acres of newly protected open space on the Heather Hill site, and this will be accessible to the public. There'll be 2 wooden bridges over Pitcher Brook. There'll be a dog park open to the public. So current status and next steps, the special permits are active through July 21st, 2027. That's been a combination of local extensions plus the State Permit Extension Act, which fed into that timeline. Permits that are still needed are Conservation, Board of Health, the Site Plan Review with Planning Board, which they just applied for, and then their water sewer permits with this board.
And then what is the timeline? Like how long of a project is it planned to be now?
So I think they'd be looking at a closing time of next spring or summer, best case.